Welcome back to my channel RJ Trades. If you have not liked or subscribed, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I make a lot of educational videos. So today a lot of people requested me to make a video on screeners. How do you find the stocks to, depending upon your criteria or whatever. So today I'm gonna show you how there's a lot of tools, a lot of paid tools. You actually don't need to pay. You can get a lot of stuff for free. So I would suggest kind of exploring those. So one of the best website, one of the website I like is finviz. So finviz, there's a lot of information, right? So you can actually get, I like one of this chart really well, the map, which just gives you a glance of the whole market, right? So Friday we had kind of red day. You can see that mostly technology was down, and communication was down too, but we see industrials and real estate utilities kind of coming back up, but a lot of the other sectors were down. So overall market was down, but kind of gives you a good glance at the market. So one thing I but today we are not going to talk about this heat map. We're going to talk about screeners, right? So how do you scan stocks? How do you scan? So this is screeners. So all you do is go to finviz.com, and you'll see the tab screener at the top. It's pretty straightforward and it's free. They do have a paid membership too, but literally you can scan for free. So with the paid, it has like you can save those things and a little bit more functionality. You can get the alerts and whatnot. So if you're feeling like you need all those, you can always get paid, which is about I think 25 or $29. But most of the work, like most of the things, you can just do it for free. So let's get started, right? So once you are in a screeners, it has three tab: descriptive, fundamental, technical, and you can even have see all those. So we're gonna just kind of go with the default one. So you can see what is exchange is basically MX, Nasdaq. Most of the tech are in Nasdaq, NYSE, or like any. So we're gonna leave that. We don't care which exchange the stock is listed. This is basically where the so one thing, so we don't want to, unless if you are doing penny, again it works for anybody. If you are working, I mean, if you are trading penny or you are looking for penny, you can do that, but mostly we work with the big cap. So we're gonna look into here. You have a lot of options. You can look at the mega cap, which is 200 billion or more, right? So if you do that, you'll have like, look at that, out of total there were about 7,581 stocks, and as soon as you do mega cap, there are just 35 company above 200 billion. You can see Apple at the top, which is the basically most mega cap. Well, it's not shorted, but you can actually short it, and Apple will be at the top. Then second is Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Baba, and all this, right? So you can do that. So now let's look into, we are not doing mega cap, at least I mean you can do mega cap too, but I would do anything basically mid cap over 2 billion, or you can even do mega cap, I mean large cap if you want, but it's just my preference. Like most of the growth, like if you're looking for, again it depends, right? So if you're looking for just the day trade, you can grab like anything above over 2 billion, or over 10 billion if you, but yeah, whatever your criteria is, right? So whatever feels good to be. I usually do mid cap. So when you do mid cap, there's still a lot, 174. I just did sorted by that order, but you can sort by volumes or whatever you like. But this is basically all the stocks which are over 2 billion in market cap, right? So now you have earning date, target price, and dividend. Yeah, a lot of things, like, so you can actually look, a lot of people's like they want to do dividend, so you can actually choose. So if you want some stocks which pays good dividend, you can do that. You can actually research using this screeners. So for example, you're looking for something over 10%, there are company, right? So there's Rome, probably not a great idea. I think they'd reduce, so I don't know how updated this data is. Usually they update, but NLY, I like NLY. I had it for a while, I sold in a while, but they seems like they pay almost 10% over dividend, which is pretty good, right? So 10% is pretty much SPY. So even the stock remains same, you're doing nothing. If it goes down, of course you lose, but if it goes up or stays same, you are making pretty decent money. So NLY is $7. So I think that's pretty good deal. And look at that volume is not bad, 12 million. So that's Friday's volume, so which is pretty good, right? So you can actually research like even if you are not day trading, you are looking something for dividend yield, right? So you can actually do that. But we're gonna just look at so for trading, right? So what else we have? So you have index, float, right? Float short. So if you want to look at the float, you can do that. So the other things I look at is relative volume. So if you're doing day trading, this is probably important. So what is relative volume? Actually, you can click here and it tells you. So relative volume is the ratio between current volume and 3 months average. So basically, if it's like above 2, it means like 3 months average is just twice the volume. So you wanna, if you wanna day trade, you wanna see something with the high volume. There's probably some reason about it, maybe upgrade, or they had a great earnings or things like that, right? So let's look at, right, you can just do over 2. If you do over 2, they're just 48 Nikla, because they have a lot of scandal going on and some good news, bad news, kind of, that's why it's up, right? So if you want a more aggressive, you can even do 5, and you just have 8. So looks like, for example, Twilio had I think their investor day on Thursday, and they kind of raised their guidance or their growth rate, and you can see that they were up 13%, right? So G, never heard of this company, but something happened with them, and looks like they are up 15.97%. So you can see that, right? And with the volume doesn't necessarily means stock's gonna go up. Stock can go really down with the good volume. Here you can see that there's NEOC, Neozen Corporation, which is a healthcare corporation, went down about 11%, right? So that's another thing. So you can actually do that. So this is just the volume. So for daily, pretty much grab something over it. This changes every day, and you can go here and it's free, and you can just play around with the volume. If there's nothing in 5, just go to 3 and you'll see some, right? So you can kind of, and you can actually look it by price change. So that's a nice kind of up movement. So what's going on, you can actually catch up pretty quick too. And you can even see the chart right here if you hover over price. So look at that, it was a nice breakout, like from around 22 something to so Twilio, right? So that's an all-time high breakout pretty much. There was some resistance around 280, 85 something, but we ended up 90. So it could be a good, right? We may continue. So you can do that, right? And you can even add fundamentals and technicals too. So for example, so you are not even day trading, you are just looking at some good stocks, some growth stocks, right? So all you care about is something about 2 billion, because you want to pick up, remove all the noise from the small cap or penny stock. So by saying you want something over 2 billion, it basically means like it's pretty good company, there's value, there's all the 2 billion is a big amount, and people are valuing at least 2 billion, which means it has proven something, it's worth something, right? Again, there could be some speculative company as well, but mostly it will, but you can add a lot of those with the fundamentals. So let's go to the fundamental tabs. So yeah, so a PE, the PE is good for like maybe like small PE for very established like Apple or other. But if you are looking at growth company, their PE will be really high. So I would not really care much about PE. But one thing I would wanna see is insider ownership, right? Level to which a company is owned by its own management. Why it matters? Think about it. Like if you have a business and if you own most of that business, you care about it, right? You want it to be good. You want it to be do well. But if you do not own money of like you're just like an employee, you probably would, I mean, you will do your job but barely job, right? Nothing personal, because you're not getting it. So this is like higher the better, but let's say over 10% is pretty good. So when we just do 10%, it removes a lot of noise, right? 102. So yeah, so institutional ownership. So another things I look for is institutional ownership, how institutions are owning, right? So if institutional ownership is basically most of the tickers, like retail does not have most of the power, the stock market institutions own, like I think 70 to 80% of the stocks is owned by institutions. So institution matter. So if there's a huge institutional ownership, that means institution as buying it, they have a big. So basically you buying 100 shares, me buying 1,000 shares doesn't move the market. It's all about institutions, and they have billions of dollars in assets, and they can move the market. So this is so let's do 40. Okay, that gives a pretty good good, so over I mean inside ownership, institution ownership. And you can actually do, let's say, EPS growth next year, right? EPS growth this year, probably EPS growth quarter over quarter. So how is it growing? Maybe we went something maybe over 20. And look at that, we just went from like 200, 300 to 25. And you can see that, you can probably see some names, it, right? So Baidu, okay, they are First Solar, right? And what else we have? Fiverr, they are growing. So Meili is doing great. So Bloom Energy, so Amazon, of course, like a big, but they are growing pretty nice. So you can see, right? So you can play around. So we have Fastly and First Solar. Yeah, you can always play around with this and kind of uh, see the company. Or maybe if you want to do, don't care about this, you can do like EPS growth next year. So if you want as a whole next year, you want something over 20, right? So let's see here. Okay, we have DKNG, we have Fiverr. So you can see a lot of the like jobs. I think it's one of the Chinese company too. Yeah, China. So yeah, you can screen and you can get whatever you want. Always, like if you are confused with any term, you can just hover over and do quarter over quarter growth. That's all. So quarter over quarter, that's in last year quarter, but this year quarter, they don't compare uh, last quarter with this quarter. It's always last year, right? And yeah, and you can even add more technical to it. So I'm going to remove some of those. So let's do, we don't, yeah, let's leave it like institution ownership, but insider ownership sometimes just gets diluted in a lot of employees, so maybe not 10%. But yeah, so you can even go to technicals and even add more. So basically, if you want to see is the short term or trend line, so basically if it's 20 days, it's above, the price is above 20 days, 50 days, 200 days, it's in uptrend, it's in uptrend. So what you can do is price above SMA 20, easy. So you can do price above SMA 50, easy. Price above SMA 200. So that uh, basically means these are in uptrend, right? So we have about 276. You can actually do is like maybe price below SMA 20. So basically you are trying to pick something which has same thing, but you want to pick it up. If it's like down, you want to buy it, right? You want to see something below 20 days, or same with the 50 days, right? Maybe you also, for Chipotle for example, right, it was probably high, and for some reason, yep, look at that, it was almost 1350 and it went down and significantly down. So maybe it's actually a good time to buy in, right? So you can actually just inverse those and kind of look into the opportunity for your long-term portfolio. So that's a great strategy too. What else we have? Yeah, Alta was high too. It was almost 250, then it went down almost about 210, and now we are at, so it could be a good buy maybe, right? So cause everything's remain same, it's just the price, there's a recent, but always make sure you research the company and make sure it's nothing bad going on, or nothing suspicious going on. But other than that, if everything looks good, you can actually look into this and find where the stock is. So yeah, pretty much that's about it. Yeah, just hop into this website, play around with a lot of metrics and look into different things, and just fine tune whatever you want. You can even do pattern, right? Like if there's ways making, or there's a head and shoulder, for example, if there's a head and shoulder regular, probably not. Maybe it's like a channel up. Yeah, there's few stocks which are channeling up, so it actually do a lot of your work. But always like use this scanner, chart yourself, look into it, make sure your thesis is also matches with their thesis, and if everything is great, then you can buy. So this not only work for day trading, but this works for you are swinging for longer term, or even holding, buying and holding, you are investing. So yeah, that's it for today. If you have any question or comment, just comment below. Other than that, thank you everyone. and have a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks.